as you can see here, this is Levelset product. And I'm gonna call out a few things that immediately jump out to you. The new insights banner at the top of your page. What this is doing is it's giving you real-time feedback of the projects that you're working on and potential issues that might come up. So we were talking about payment alerting, and we were talking about contractor profiles, payment profiles. What this is doing is it's giving you updates of people that are in your network that you work with that are useful for you to be able to go back and present to the team, such as an investment group having their payment grade being downgraded from a D to an F, or being able to get a better sense of when a lien actually gets filed on your project, how does that compromise your lien rights, or what situation would that put you in order to protect yourself? So as an example, if you are an electric subcontractor, such as Louis at CSI, and you are working on a project where a concrete subcontractor, who is more of a phase one, has done everything in their power to protect themselves and now is having to file a lien on the property, making the GC, the property owner, aware and the lender assured. What does that do for you as the electric subcontractor? Well, it puts you in a situation where funds are now starting to freeze up. They have a dispute that they have to work out within the payment chain, specifically with that concrete subcontractor. So that's going to put you into a position where the probability that you will have to exercise your own lien rights has increased dramatically. So as you can see here, here's our insights page, and you're going to get alerts such as this: contractors that have sent up preliminary notices, contractors that have gotten paid on projects as well. And now we're in a situation where we have autonomy of what's going on in our project. If a contractor that has gotten paid, for example, now we know we're in a situation where if our customer is getting paid, how that's going to help us. If our customer is getting paid from their customer, the probability of us getting paid in full now is almost at 100%. This is what I was talking about earlier when I wanted to touch upon a little bit about payment predictability. So now that you have a scope of understanding what's going on around you in your payment universe, let's focus in on you. Let's focus in on what it takes to be able to protect your business with your own rights. So payment insights and alerting is one aspect of getting paid fairly. You now have understanding of who to work with, but it directly ties into our theme from today as well. Being able to cut costs and increase productivity within your business. If you're not having to figure out who pays fairly, for example, when you're searching another contractor or a property owner developer to work with, that reduces searching costs. Something that I learned in my time when I was studying economics at Brown is any brand that is having to reduce searching costs is actually eliminating unnecessary overhead and time spent on working with that organization. So that's one aspect. I'm going to go into some of the specifics now that I'm back on the home page with tracking your deadlines. Most of our customers, going back to like Don or Louis, for example, this is the first thing that they click into. Having a good understanding of what's going on in all their projects, what deadlines are most pertinent, and what to do next in order to take action for the company. What we do is we actually chronologically order all the different deadlines so that no matter what, you're going to have the peace of mind to know that your notice or lien that you need to file in order to protect your business, or the entire set framework, S, E, and T that we talked about, is always in a situation where these lien rights are compliant and your notice rights are compliant, putting you into a position where you now have leverage. So, new insights. Again, you'll see the insights page at the top. Let's take a closer look at all the different projects. You'll see payment rights, you'll see lien alerts, you'll see upcoming deadlines that are happening for the organization. And again, as I mentioned, chronologically ordering your projects so you can see what's coming up down the pipe and what needs to actually be taken action upon. When we dig a little bit further into a project, so if, as an example, because I was talking about an equipment organization earlier, let's click into this Omaha Pneumatic Equipment Company and dig a little bit more. What you'll see is that was the macro view of understanding all your different lean deadlines so that you're not having to count this on a spreadsheet like so many people do, or with some type of other software that is able to track some of these deadlines as well. Now we get into the micro view of what's going on in this individual project and what can I do in order to make sure that I'm protecting myself. So a question that I get oftentimes when I'm talking to construction companies is, well, what do I need to give you in order for all this to be tracked? There's so much information here. There's a lot that's going on, especially with how we highlight specific deadlines. And I want to put people's questions there at ease. It's actually quite simple. From a project research standpoint, if you give me the address, if you give me your role on the job, GC, sub, supplier, et cetera, and you give me the project type, commercial, residential, federal, state, county, that's all we need from a research standpoint. And the automation goes into effect. Again, going back to increasing productivity. Now, when it comes to the deadlines, this is where we need a couple other different dates. So another question I get, what are the dates, right? The day that you first start on the job, the day that you end the job, and if you're in a state that requires multiple monthly notices, again, like Texas, Tennessee, Louisiana, then you give me the date that you invoice. That's all we need, and that's it. And so a question that I then also get pretty often is, well, like, how do I get that information over to you? We can talk about that here in a little bit. So from here, what is the most pertinent information? Anything in red? Well, we know that we need to file a mechanics lien today, for example. We're owed $5,000 in this particular project. But what I want to also do is show you and highlight how easy it is to send a preliminary notice. So in a state like Nebraska, pick that intentionally, being the heart of the state, heart of the country rather, the preliminary notice is actually quite easy and quite simple. Again, if you give us dates, we put a nice cover letter on our preliminary notices because again, if we go back to our chili pepper analogy there, it's about escalating the situation. So the preliminary notice is at the beginning, it's our jalapeno. It's very friendly. And so we put a friendly cover letter on it and only the required information, natural stakeholders, legal property description. Again, it's friendly if we go back to that cover letter. Hey, here's who we are. We're excited to be doing work on your job. Thank you for the opportunity. Go certified mail. I have the option to email it as well. Standard, rush. And then we create the document. Takes about 20 seconds to send this if you wanted to do it manually. But the other question that I get is, well, especially with the larger customers that we have, you know, when we go back to talking about CSI doing 1,400 over the course of a year, that's no small order, small task, or even some of our larger customers as well, equipment rental companies that have tens of thousands of projects. How can we automate this so you're not even having to log in? Well, this is where we go to the queue. The documents queue is kind of like magic. And that's why I intentionally put one of our core values over here at Levelset, Wow with Magic, right there behind me. Because now we're putting you into a position where all you have to do, if you want, is log into Levelset, go to your queue, and either say yes or no on sending the document. If you want it even more automated than that, you don't even have to log in at all. An analogy that I sometimes use is, you know, Levelset's kind of like the wind. You know, you can feel it, you know it's there, but you can't necessarily see it. That's the metaphor for our automation and how everything is going to ensure that we stay protected. Going back to our productivity question that we had there, looks like while that's loading, I did get another question, so let me pop in. Okay, great question. So yeah, this is actually tying in directly to what I was going to talk about. If we want to have Levelset automate our notices, do we still get to review them before they're sent? This is exactly what we're talking about right here. So great question. This is our documents queue. What you'll see here is all the documents that are coming up. So if you wanted to log in and basically have the power to say yes or no on sending this particular document, you're going to have that opportunity right here. All you have to do is then click onto your monthly notice, say yes, and then you're done. Wow, with magic. Now, we talked a lot about the micro level after talking about the macro level. And again, I wanted to be brief with this product demo. There are a ton of other features, as you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, that involve like document organization, all the different companies that you work with, Cash Center, getting legal advice from lawyers over here at Levelset as well. The list goes on and on and on. If you do want to learn more, again, you can email me at brandon@levelset.com. As you can see here on my screen, if you want to go ahead and request a more thorough demo, it's levelset.com/request-demo. If you want to have a more thorough conversation with myself or another payment expert over here at Levelset. And if you want to chat with me or someone else on my team, happy to do so. It's been a pleasure today. Thank you for your time.